Give me your best argument for Bernie. Give me your best argument for Bernie.
I got the original guy with all the ideas that everybody's following up on now.
How do you, I'm Todd.
I'm Adam.
Adam, it's nice to meet you. I swear we're not mean. Everybody's been like, you're guys mean.
It's great talking.
Hey man, Ellis, yeah, I'd like to hear from you. Even if you can email me the name of that book.
Absolutely.
You have a good day.
Yeah,
thanks for serving. How do you, and I ask this genuinely, Bernie has this very strong socialist leanings. That's a very safe statement. I'm trying to say it in a way that's not like reactionary or like argumentative.
He is a democratic socialist.
Right. So he's very much has these very strong socialism ideas, not just social, but socialism ideas. And then as recently he just made a ton of money. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, you're fine.
He just made a ton of money off his book, and his comment was, well, you can have that kind of money too if you write a book. So do you think, thank you, we hope you do too. Do you think that to some degree, and there again, I'm asking this because I didn't vote for Trump. And everybody talks like I didn't vote for him either, and I'm like, how did that happen?
Apologies how that happened.
Well, you don't want it to go the other way, though. The people in Iowa would not have a vote.
True.
So
with as many people in other states.
Yeah, when you absolutely.
Maybe don't stand by the porta potties. That's rude.
I don't like everywhere we go. We get told not to be there because it's rude. So, literally everywhere we've been, don't be there. That's rude. So. One of the things that I've run into a lot is there seems to be a disconnect between the message and the person. So he'll stand on this socialistic platform,
right.
But then he encourages everybody to go out and do the capitalistic thing, which is if you want to be rich, go out and make your own money. Do you struggle with that at all? You think?
Well, Bernie came from a lower to middle class family and as a senator he doesn't make millions.
No.
He recently became a millionaire.
Yeah.
He came in 1 million because of his book. And if someone is a good enough author, they can make that money too. But he stands more behind his ideas. The social ideas.
Well, yeah, there are a lot of candidates now who are glomming onto it because that's what's really popular.
Yeah, ever since 2016, since he brought those ideas out, everybody's like, oh yeah, that's popular, let's do that. But Bernie did it first. He's had the same ideas for 40 plus years without just switching it up. All these other candidates are flip-flopping their ideas.
How do you, and I'm probably asking questions you weren't ready to answer. I love philosophy and politics as well as theology and stuff.
Oh, I'm good. Thanks.
How do you wrestle with places where socialism has been tried, and because I know the standard argument for that is to say, thanks. The standard argument for that is often, they didn't do it right. So like you look at Venezuela, which is imploding, and people are literally being gunned down in the streets by the government because they're rioting, because they don't have any food and stuff. Where do we see it where it's working well?
Well, because what Bernie wants to do is he wants to make the wealthy and the big corporations pay their fair share of taxes, which is going to help the social programs. It's not going to take away from anybody. It's not going to take away from the middle class or anybody. It's just he wants it fair. He wants the rich to be. Amazon paid $0 in taxes.
Right. Isn't that weird? Amazon paid nothing, and they are the biggest.
Highest.
They're one of the highest earning companies.
They are the highest earning company,
and yet they support social agenda of Bernie Sanders. They support Bernie. They're one of his biggest.
They're not gonna after Bernie becomes president.
Well, right, but they're supporting him now.
Yeah,
isn't that weird though?
Yeah, it is weird. I quite understand.
I mean, they give a ton of money to Bernie and others.
If you look at these countries that have Medicare for all and everything, people don't have to pay $umpteen for their medications.
Right.
That works for Canada and other countries.
I live in the Rochester. You know where Rochester, Minnesota is?
Yeah.
I live in the Mayo area, and what I'll tell you is that we get a ton of people from Canada coming down because they can't get health care.
Really?
Oh yeah. Huh. Are you a thinker? Do you like to be challenged?
Oh yeah.
There is a guy, I don't know if you ever heard of him. His name's Steven Crowder. He's a Canadian native. He was born there and then immigrated to the United States. and he was raised in that kind of that mentality of that. And his parents came down here for one of those reasons, because they were losing out, and they came down here to escape that.
Okay.
And
what were they losing out on?
They were losing out like on healthcare, and I did it again. I keep spitting at you. I don't mean to. It's because I'm dry. It's a really interesting thought experiment to maybe tune into somebody, and I do this all the time, to tune into people that maybe you wouldn't necessarily agree with on a political or a sociological level, and really hear them, because I don't agree with everything Steven says, but I'm always really challenged when he talks. And he's a stand-up comedian, so even though he does serious talk, he gets a little racy at times and a little funny, and he does things to be shocking, which of course is what stand-up comedians do by nature. But he's very challenging, and you know who Milo Yiannopoulos is?
That sounds familiar.
He worked for Breitbart. He was their chief editor, and he is a very flamboyant, openly gay man. And he actually has very conservative social leanings. You might want to check him out. Just to see, and there again, I know this isn't probably what you were expecting me to ask you about, but I saw your Bernie 2020, and I had to see what your thoughts were.
People to Bernie and other.
Can I give you something to check out?
Well,